What if one day you're out on the ocean, sailing calmly across the waves, when suddenly the sea beneath you churns, a shadow the size of a school bus rises. Before you can react, gulp, you're gone, swallowed whole by a whale? Sound like something out of a biblical myth? Well, it almost is. But let's dive deep, literally, into what would really happen if you were swallowed by a whale. First things first, whales are massive. If you've never stood beside one, it's almost impossible to comprehend. The blue whale, for instance, is the largest animal to have ever lived on Earth. It can reach lengths of up to 100 feet and weigh over 180 tons. To put it in perspective, its tongue alone can weigh as much as an elephant, and its mouth, big enough to fit 400 to 500 people. But despite that colossal mouth, you don't need to worry about being swallowed by a blue whale. Their throats are roughly the size of a grapefruit. Instead, let's focus on a much more dangerous cousin, the sperm whale. In 1891, a man named James Bartley reportedly survived being swallowed by a sperm whale. According to the tale, a whale attacked his ship. After the whale was harpooned and brought on board the next day, Bartley was allegedly found inside, unconscious but alive. His skin was bleached white and he was blind, both blamed on the whale's stomach acids. But as time passed, people started poking holes in the story. Was it real? Or just one of those sensational sea myths from the 19th century? Let's say, for the sake of curiosity, that the story was true. Could a whale really swallow you and survive inside it? The sperm whale is no blue whale. Its throat is wide enough to swallow a human whole. Its jaw is lined with 40 to 50 teeth, each about the size of a chef's knife. 20 centimeters long, you'd first encounter these jagged weapons. If by some miracle you weren't torn apart, you'd then be dragged down a dark, narrow, slimy esophagus. Breathing would get harder, oxygen would be scarce, and methane and carbon dioxide would begin to build up, creating a toxic, suffocating environment. Inside the whale, you'd end up in the first of its 4 stomachs. Sperm whales don't just gulp and digest, their stomach system is brutal. Imagine floating in darkness. You're now submerged in hydrochloric acid. It starts eating away at your skin. Painful burns erupt across your body. The air, if you can call it that, is now a stew of sulfur, methane, and digestive gases. If that wasn't enough, you might not be alone. Bioluminescent squid, partially digested, could briefly light up the space like underwater fireflies, but that beauty wouldn't last. Now, scientifically speaking, survival is nearly impossible. Your skin, eyes, and lungs aren't built for acid exposure or low oxygen environments. Within minutes, you'd lose consciousness. Within hours, if not sooner, you'd be dead. Even if somehow protected by diving gear, the acids would eventually corrode everything. You wouldn't be able to radio for help, and the internal temperature of a whale averages around 98 degrees Fahrenheit, 36.7 degrees Celsius, meaning you'd slowly be cooked. Eventually, your remains would travel through the whale's intestines. After hours or even a day, what's left of you, if anything, would be excreted into the ocean. A rather undignified exit, to say the least. So what about James Bartley? Could he really have survived such a journey? Highly unlikely. Most scientists now dismiss the tale as legend or exaggeration, but it captivated imaginations for over a century, and still does. Despite their size and teeth, whales aren't out to get us. In fact, they're mostly gentle, curious creatures. Sperm whales prefer squid. Blue whales consume krill by the ton. No whale has any real interest in eating a human. If anything, we're the danger to them. So could you survive being swallowed by a whale? Science says no. Nature says no. But imagination? That's a different story. And on pseudo scenarios, we love asking those impossible questions, because it's not always about whether it could happen. It's about what would happen if it did. Until next time, stay curious.